Welcome back to the Celtics Nation Rise podcast, episode 73. I'm your host, Griffin Aldrich. Alongside me, we have our co host, Andrew Quinn. You guys know and love him. Welcome back. So, last week, we went and broke down the season previews with Marty the Meat Man and Daniel Miguel. So, go check out episode 72. Go check out last week's episode. It was a little something. We really broke it down at first. We got into Celtics news, we got into the predictions. We didn't really have time to debrief, Andrew. I think the fun thing that we've enjoyed this offseason is being able to have the fun spin on it. Do you agree? Because we've had a lot
Yeah,
of times.
I agree. I think it's really, really fun to be engaged with the fans and the fans of the Celtics community and just create this community that we can call Fleezus up. We can call, Jared up, and we can have these guys on our podcast. And so it's a really cool experience. And the summer was amazing. It was a blast. There were so many cool different people that came on. And so I'm really happy that this podcast has given us that outlet to have people on like that. So it was really fun, and I definitely want to continue that even during the season. Like, I want to have all those guests on. I want to hear your guys' opinions on the Celtics season, how it's going, the good, the bad, and we want to go through the journey with you because that's what it's about. And so, um, Celtics community, thank you for the summer. We really appreciate it. And now we got a 81 game season ahead of us with the game yesterday. Check it out on Celtics Talk Weekly. We really took a deep dive into that first game, and we'll be back on there tomorrow. So, yeah, I mean, once again, thank you guys for a good summer, and let's keep this ball rolling.
Yeah, you said it right there. I mean, we've been keeping you guys covered. So make sure to subscribe to Celtics Talk Weekly and Celtics Nation Rise. And you talked about the summer, and I was going to get into a little detail about where I just went because I went on a post summer trip, I guess. But while we're on the topic of it, Fleezus, you said his name, and I want to shout out to Fleezus really quick because I was in contact with Fleezus, and my apologies, couldn't make it to opening night. We're preparing for next year. We're preparing to make the trip next year for opening night. So don't you worry. Andrew and I will be there next opening night. We got him. But
Yeah, that's just in. We're there next time, 100%.
we're
Whatever it takes, we're gonna grind. Hey, I mean, no, that's not a Celtic slogan. Actually, we're different here, but I'm sure they use whatever it takes. I'm sure they use it. It's a good slogan to have.
It is. But shout out to Fleezus, and I'm gonna pull up this picture really quick. Fleezus
Hey,
picture.
got that ring on.
Yeah, him and Wick.
Let's
So
debate this real quick before we go. What do you
yeah,
think? Better ring, the Thunder's ring this year or the Celtics ring?
I'm going Celtics ring. I actually
Yeah. Is there bias in there? Is there bias in there?
I just think the Celtics ring was cool. Like, I just think from like because I won't lie, I like the color blue, so I feel like there would be more unbiasedly. I like the Celtics ring. I
Yeah.
think
No. See, where I see it is it's like a little more classic in my eyes. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like it's gonna stand the test of time. The OKC ring might be a little, you know, who knows? Maybe it doesn't stand the test of time. It's not as classic as the Celtics ring. That's
yeah,
how I see it. So
and
that's
then
why I like it better.
you have like inside you have the banner, you have all the
Yeah,
numbers
that's
and stuff.
beautiful.
I just thought it was like I just thought the detail behind it was like crazy. And
Hmm.
I know they say, and I saw a video on this, so I'm happy you brought this up, Andrew. I'm happy you said this because I saw a video. They're like, every year it just gets better and better. There's no competition because every year it looks better. However, I think this, and I'm being unbiased about it. I really liked the Thunder's ring, and I like how you have a mini ring inside, and that's the
Hmm.
aspect where I don't think you could really pull apart from. But looks wise, I really like the Celtics one more. I
Yeah.
thought there's better detail. What are your
I
thoughts?
No, I think there's something else to say. Like, these are rings, but they're turning into like you can't even wear them. They're so damn
Yeah,
big. You know what
and
I mean?
that's
They're massive. And
the
so like you want a ring, in my opinion, that you could rock a little. You know what I mean? They're more like stones that you can't even touch. They're like trophies. They're turning into trophies. But
They
like
are.
the
So
beauty of the ring is that you can wear it, you can rock it, you can. But like I don't know, these rings are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like we gotta have a little cap on how big these rings get because before you know it, they're gonna be getting a second trophy for everyone.
you're
You know,
you're right,
it's
and
like
the amount of
classic capitalism. They just always gotta go bigger, 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 make more money, money.
more
Like I
diamonds,
respect
more
it, I
diamonds.
respect it, and if you can do it, do it. But I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
it's a dumb complaint, but I I think that maybe the rings are getting too big. Maybe
Yeah.
they're getting too big.
You're right, and I have to say the diamonds on. So that's why I gotta give a shout out to OKC because I gotta say it's cool that they had a mini ring in there. So in case you
Mhm.
don't want the big bulky one, you could be rocking a little ring.
Right, right. That's very considerate of the Oklahoma City Thunder and the association. So
And those millions of diamonds that they have on there. Geez, like
no,
to
I
me,
mean, let's be honest. It is a nice ring,
it
and I
is.
and I would take it. I would take it.
Yeah, I would I,
But
I would snag one of those.
yeah,
Even
but
that.
let's go back to like what really was the reason for this topic, which was fleezus
Yeah, let's.
and how you brought him up.
So I believe, and we're gonna have to get Fleezus on here because I believe he's. And if you guys, we're turning this into an audio podcast soon, so I'm gonna describe it for people. Is he has Wick's ring on? I believe. I believe that's
Yeah,
Wick's
that
ring,
is. Yeah.
which is so cool, and like that's probably so surreal. So we're gonna have to get him on and chat with him about that. But Andrew, I know I usually start off with the intro with how have you been? And take it away. How have you been? And we again, we're not going to talk about last night's loss because if you guys want to go check it out, go check out the recap, go check out what else? The post game show, go check out
Mhm.
everything. We've broke that down enough. But how have you been in an aspect of the Celtics and how have you been in general? It's been a long time since we've been
Yeah,
on.
it's been a while since we've been on and really been able to have a good podcast together. So, I've been doing good. Really, really busy, to be honest. Like most of us, we got busy lives. That's just the way it goes in college, work another job, and on top of this, but like, there's nothing I would rather do. And this podcast is really special for me. So, getting as many as we can is just awesome. But I mean, I don't know, something about these next couple of months are really special to me. Like you got basketball starting, you got Halloween coming up, you got all the holidays coming up. You know, you're throwing the sweatshirts on now. It's getting to that cozy, those cozy months, dude. Like it's a good time. Basketball's back. I mean, there's not much to complain about. You know what I mean? There's a lot to be grateful for, and I'm just happy that the NBA is back. I mean, it's always a good pick me up, and when you can have NBA basketball back, and just basketball in general, from high school to college to NBA to, I mean, you name it, it's back. And honestly, I'm glad it's back because my fantasy team is 0-7 right now. So I am kind of getting checked out of football. As much as I love football, and the
Yeah.
Pats are playing well, so football is still going well. But I need a little pick me up. I need a little something else to kind of root for because my fantasy team is horrendous, and that's I'm very frustrated, man. But basketball and all that's picking me up.
And, and I have to ask one question, and I know we'll get right back on track after, but this is your first year not playing basketball on a.
Yeah.
How are you handling that? Because if you guys didn't know, Andrew joined us about a little less than a year ago, and Andrew was a basketball player for the Southern Maine Community College basketball team, the Seawolves, and that's when he joined after the basketball season. So and how is it feeling? And everyone, I don't know what episode that was, but we had one with Coach AJ. Go check out those two episodes, the draft night
Yeah,
episode.
shout out Coach AG, man. That's my guy. I
We
miss him. I haven't seen him in a minute.
gotta get
And
him back on. We gotta get him
of
back on.
course, of course. No, to answer your question, it's been a change. I mean, I've played basketball since second grade, dude. Like, it is a big, big change for me in just trying to adapt and and find a different place to kind of put my energy into. It's different, man, and having these podcasts is really nice, but there is just something nice about having that camaraderie, that those teammates, just being able to know that you got a place to go and play basketball and be part of something bigger than yourself every day. Like there's just something nice about that, and we saw that with all the Celtics these past couple of years, like that bond that they created, whether it's done or not, like that's going to last forever. And so that's how I feel about it. Am I missing it? Yeah, 100%. I'm missing just being able to just be super competitive, like be scrappy on defense, like try to be physical, get my shoulder in people, like that contact. Like
Yeah.
I need that. I need to get into men's league. We need to play the coaching
Yes.
staff. Like maybe that's something that can get me into the basketball swing of things, but like I need something like that. But I'm glad that I have some sort of connection to basketball with the Celtics podcast and all that. So that's really nice. And yeah, man, I miss it, but
And
here's
I
to
don't,
new journeys, I guess.
yeah, and I don't want to spoil anything, but just check out tomorrow's recap because a teammate of Andrews might be.
Yes, yeah. Check
Check
in.
check it out.
That'll be
That's all I gotta
exciting,
say.
man. Hopefully he's a continued guest.
Yeah, you're right there. But so
Yeah.
just keep your eyes peeled. Everyone, keep your
Yes.
eyes peeled.
Yes.
But Andrew, from me, I think a lot of people might know from the Al Horford special, which was a crazy special on Celtics Talk Weekly. I have to say,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yep, that was nuts.
that was my first night in Florida, and if you guys haven't watched that, I recommend going to CTW Live and checking that video out. And it's a funny one, but it was my first night in Florida, and I gave you guys some footage at Disney World, and I wanted to talk about that for a couple minutes as we talk about that, and then move on to some Celtics stuff. So if you guys don't want to hear, I will be talking about Celtics points in this because that's my main point. So stay tuned. If not, skip past this part and get into the Celtics
Hey,
news. But
man. And if you just enjoy the podcast, I mean,
do it.
we're just trying to be, we're just being the fellows, just having a good conversation. So stick around even for the Florida conversation because, you know,
It's funny.
we're just having a good time. We're just talking, man. So
Yeah,
stay involved. Stay involved.
you're not gonna want to miss this one. This one's
No,
fun.
you're not. I'm telling you, I mean, this is big time.
Yeah. So Andrew, you and I were talking about it before, and we were having the talk that, hey, let me go down to Florida and interview people about their Celtics fandom and stuff like that
Mhm.
because we had the fan series and stuff like that. However, it didn't really go that well, and I was more so like I was showing clips and being like, hey, I saw so and so in this jersey, this jersey. I ended up seeing one other person in a Celtics Tatum jersey. So I saw
Mhm.
one other person in a Celtics Tatum jersey. Did not I saw a couple Red Sox shirts because at the
Yeah,
time,
Red Sox. I feel like Red Sox people travel. Like
yeah,
they're like, and there is something about like wearing a Red Sox like a hat or like a Red Sox like shirt. Like it's a little more like I don't know, like style, I guess, in some
yeah.
ways. But no, but the people love the Red Sox all over.
Yeah, so I saw someone in Red Sox gear, and I agree with that because at the time it was the playoffs when we were
And it
facing.
was the playoffs, so I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
it's heightened and everyone's trying to show their Boston pride wherever they are. So yeah, that makes sense.
And my brother and I were just completely showing our Boston pride. He had
Mhm.
his Derek White head shirt, which I'll get into in a second,
Yeah.
and he was wearing his Sedane Rafaela shirt, his Duke Tatum jersey. I was repping Celtic shirts pretty much every other day. Like I had a Celtic shirt on, and people kept coming up to me. They were like, "Go Sox!" because I was wearing the Boston gear, and I was like, "Yeah, go
Mhm.
Sox!" And then a couple people came up to me and shout out to one, and we'll go in order. So shout out to one in Epcot where he came up to me. He was from Mass, and I gave him a shout out in the video too. So after you guys are done watching this, go check out the Florida vlog. It's fun. I risked my phone, Andrew. I brought my phone on roller coasters
I
to get.
saw that. Yeah, no, I saw that. Kylo Ren almost snatched your phone.
He
That's
did. I'm
he.
telling
I mean, but that's a whole other thing. But Kylo Ren, man, he's not a real villain, man.
you,
That
he's not.
guy is a that guy's a shell of Darth Vader.
I
But
yeah,
anyways,
I saw Darth Vader there, and like I think I think him and I had some beef, but Kylo Ren just walked right by me. It's
Yeah,
like
Kylo Ren's he doesn't want that smoke. Let's just say he
he
doesn't want
doesn't.
that smoke.
He
Yeah.
doesn't. No, but I gave some footage on the rides and everything. An Epcot guy. He was from Massachusetts, so shout out to him. I said his name, I believe, in the video, so shout out. And we're talking Celtics, and I saw so many people and even shout out to this guy who noticed my Sea Dogs bag and said, "Hey, I'm from New Hampshire. I know who they are." And it's like,
Nice.
that's a minor league team, so it's like the pull from that, it's like crazy. It's like, all right, if someone recognizes the Celtics, all right, the Celtics are a huge organization, but the Sea Dogs, that's a huge pull. So shout out to that guy too.
Definitely, yeah.
But ultimately, I think the funniest part of the trip, and you guys will see this, I posted a short about it. I also posted it in the video. We're at HHN Halloween Horror Nights at Universal. And my brother and I were walking in the scare zone, and my brother had on the big Derek White shirt. If you guys don't know, it's Derek White's face, and he's shaved, he's bald in it, and they made it a meme. When we had Ricky Defense on, he like made some of those shirts, I believe. Correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong with that.
I mean, I was saying, yeah, like yeah, maybe, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. No, but we had him on. Anyways, big Derek White fan. He went crazy during that, and he was wearing one of those Derek White shirts. So my brother had one of those on, and one of the scare actors come up, and he's like, he broke character, and he used his little accent on, because I don't think you can break character there. But he's like,
Yeah.
I know that guy. He's gonna lead us to the 8th seed this year. And you hear my brother, and he's like, what? And he's like, he's gonna lead us to the 8th seed. That bald man. And it's just so funny, and it's like we are trying to get scared, and he comes up and he scared us with fright. I think that was very scary, Andrew, because I hate hearing the words the 8th seed.
Eighth seed. Yeah, no, that he actually did stay in character.
You
If
did.
anything, he went further into character.
He did,
He
because that
dove deeper into character. He
got
read your mind of what you didn't want to hear.
he got personal. Like that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like
I know.
I didn't think scare people get personal like
Yeah,
that.
they don't they're just trying to scare you they're just trying to scare you like mental like physically like get your adrenaline pumping,
That was
get your
mental.
kind of get you a little like mentally frightened, but he's not trying to like mentally like mess your night up type of
But
vibe and he attempted to. I don't know if he did, but
yeah,
attempted to.
definitely caught me off guard. Well, I thought it was funny, but then it caught me off guard, because I'm like, oh my gosh, we're not going to be the 1 or 2 or 3 seed this year. We're probably going
Yeah.
to be the
But
8th
I
seed.
will say, like, I don't know if we want to get into this, but that's an interesting discussion, and I think it's still Jim Brown. But like he said Derek White's going to lead us to the 8th seed.
Yeah, what are
Why
your
not
thoughts?
Jim Brown?
Yeah,
I
what are
I
your
will say I'm not. I still think Jim Brown's going to be the guy. Like he's going to be our leader. But like Derek White, it's almost like a I don't know. I don't think I still think JB's our guy. But on the topic of Derek White, like I think he's going to be like an
also?
all-star. I
Yep.
think he's going to be an all-star. I think people are more and more getting to that take. Like people are kind of coming to that as like a bold prediction. Um, but to be honest, I really do think he could be an all-star because he's getting such a high volume of shots and he hits it at a high rate. Like in the way he was playing last night, like the ball is always in his hands, more so than Pritchard. He's our second option.
Yes.
And so, we've had Tatum and Brown become all stars in those roles. And for me, Derek White has every time he gets a new role, every time he gets like a new opportunity, he seems to grow, take advantage of it, and step into it. So I don't see why he doesn't take a leap this year either. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I think he's going to be an all star. You heard it here first. Maybe I'll throw down a bet. A little controversial right now. We'll talk
Should we
about that later.
should we do a fan? I know. All right, listen. After this podcast is recorded, I'm going to post the video of me doing my part of the bet, because I had a Yankees hat, and just a second, Andrew.
I believe you.
I'm
But
gonna
we got to get Quincy. I mean,
to do his bet because
Quincy.
the
I mean,
whole
I don't know
idea.
where Quincy's at. If you're out there, Quincy, and you're listening, I mean, we might have to pour an ice bucket over your head.
Celtics. So
Wow, that
video in the
Griffin.
Yankees hat. Probably gonna turn this into a reel because I lost the bet back in the playoffs, but finally found a Yankees hat and I had to go through my bet.
Wow.
So here we go.
I
Please just don't be laughing out there. Please just don't be laughing out there. All of our New York. Yes, man. You're
I
welcome.
I will post that after this. And I agree because the whole idea was for Quincy to give me a Yankees hat to wear and he was going to go into the ocean. And this is a
Mhm.
perfect time to go in the ocean too because
Oh, no, we're gonna. You know what? Maybe we keep it under wraps for a little. Or remind him like dead winter.
yeah, we should like schedule a meeting with him, like hang out with him and be
Yeah,
like,
but it's gotta be. I'm saying like dead winter. Like let's
yeah,
like prolong this a little longer.
yeah,
So he's
let's
got to jump in even colder water.
and I'll wear the Yankee like I because
No,
I
you're good. You paid your dues. You paid your dues.
I paid my dues. All right, that's fair.
You're good. You're good. You're good. No need to. Don't give him any more ammunition. You paid your dues.
I
All
did.
right.
I
But
did.
Quincy, we got to get Quincy on. So Quincy, if you're listening, you still owe your bet. Even though we're not the ones that made you do the bet, but we got to keep our co-hosts. We got to keep our guys accountable. That's what we do here.
So
No
so
matter if it's good or bad.
so do we throw in a giveaway bet? You
A
want
little
to throw?
giveaway bet? What for White?
Yeah. What if we do like a hat or something?
Yeah,
That's
yeah, I'd like that. Yeah, yeah. Little hat or something, a little giveaway. What? What would be the bet?
well, my prediction is I believe that he is going to be an all-star.
Hmm. So we
And
could do anyone that disagree. Well, no,
well,
I
how
don't
about
know.
we do this? If Derek White is not an all-star, you and I combine for a Celtics hat and give it away to one of our fans.
Okay, yeah, yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah,
So because I'm so confident, Andrew. I don't know about you, but I am very confident that Derek White is going to have an All-Star season this year.
yeah,
Like he already, and you can't take a lot from preseason, but what he did in preseason and what he did last night is just and what that scare actor said. Like this guy is
yeah,
going to lead our team this year, and I don't think it'll just be him, like you said. I think it's going to be a combination of Jaylen Brown as well, Peyton Pritchard on nights and Anthony Simons on nights. I believe there will be guys who help, but I believe the two main guys, it's going to be Derek White and Jaylen Brown this
yeah.
season until Tatum comes
There's
back.
potential. There's potential for Derek White to be an All Star, and and call it bold, but I think it's going to happen this year. I think he'll be an All Star. I think he's due.
You said it right there. So that's the bet. If Derek White is not All Star, we will do a hat giveaway on here. So we're saying it now, and we follow through with our bets here because I already followed through. Quincy, we're taking some time, but we'll follow through too. But with that being said, there's some looming news. Well, it happened last night in the NBA, and not one night in, and I'm stealing this phrase from Seamus, but one night in to the NBA season, and the Trailblazers have already lost their head coach, and former Celtics player Terry Rozier gets arrested after gambling scandal. If you just wanted to talk about your thoughts about this, and then we're going to get into a little debate here. But what are your
Mhm.
thoughts about him getting arrested about gambling? And do you think this is a problem in the
Yeah,
NBA?
yeah. Let's really go like first. So here is a we don't have the actual graphic to pull up, but Sham Sharania reported Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier arrested in federal gambling investigations, and so Billups and Rozier have been linked to to these gambling um, investigations, and they are arrested for them because they've been involved and they've been trying to you know you know throw games or something along those lines, right? And they got caught. And so just recently, Cash Patel actually has been involved in these gambling investigations. He had a press conference and discussed it. So this is no joke. I mean, the FBI arrested them. Like they have reasonable cause to arrest them. Like they're not going to just arrest them on a whim. I mean, they have the evidence to back it up, and so this is shocking. It's crazy because, in my opinion, like if you love the game so much, you also care about the integrity of the game, and you care about the purity of the game, and to throw a game shows the lack of to throw a game for money shows the lack of care you have about winning, shows the lack of care and respect you have to the game, to your teammates, to the organization, and to me, it's a very selfish act. And so, I think this is very shocking. It's frustrating. It's scary to think about that there could be potential gambling rings and different problems going on outside of this incident. And so it's just something that people are going to now be aware of, but it's also something that I can't respect because it really does question your love, appreciation, and and care about the game that you put hours and hours into, and for them to throw it all away, I don't understand it.
Yeah, and I have to say this has been a long-term issue because Michael Porter Jr.'s brother actually went to
Mhm.
jail for this as well, and this is an ongoing issue in the NBA and across all sports, and they make rules when you work in a sport that you're not allowed to bet on it, and especially when you're an athlete because you control what goes on in the game. Like you're a player who is doing the craft that's being played on the floor,
Mhm.
the craft that people are betting on. And it's the fact that obviously you're not allowed to do anything because you're the one who's going to make their bet happen or not. And
Mhm.
it's a big issue for me because it is being very now it's heavily on the NBA. And you look at this and before games, they're like, here are Shaq's picks, or just an example, here are Stephen A's picks. Like they are giving known names like, hey, this is what you should bet on tonight. Like that's the normal thing. And you see it with football, you've seen it in the NBA. And one evidence I have too is arenas are starting to now put gambling machines where you could do your bets
Mhm.
right as you get in there. So what are your thoughts? Do you think, and this is where the debate kind of comes in, Andrew, is do you believe that the sports are getting too carried away with it? Do you believe that it's an issue that everyone's getting involved and it causes players to get involved as well? Or what do you believe the problem is?
I mean, I'll go back to kind of this topic. To me, gambling on sports, it's always been around, right? Like I mean, it's people have been doing it since the dawn of time. I mean, probably when the people are fighting in the Colosseums, they're probably gambling on
Betting,
who's going to
they're
get
probably betting food on each other or gold.
food or their lives in some instances. Like, I mean, this is not something that's uncommon, right? And when it's tied to money, people are willing to go to the extremes to get that money. And but what I'm seeing with gambling is that it's becoming to the point where it's so thrown in your face. It's so commercialized to everyone. And to me, it's becoming so mainstream that gambling is taking away the just the just the joy of basketball, right? Like when you're watching a game, instead of watching it just to soak it in, to enjoy the atmosphere, to enjoy what's being played right then and there, you're thinking about a play that hasn't happened yet. Like, oh, I need this to happen so I can get my money, so I can get my reward. But to be so focused on that, it's just you're 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 really taking away like the purity of the game in some sense, in my eyes. And it's just be like everything we have in our world is very commoditized. It's used to gain some money, and the NBA is in fact a entertainment tool to make money. Like, let's not deny that, but I think gambling has gone too far, and it really, and if it's really impacting players, I can't. I can see the I mean, I understand why people enjoy it, but there is something to be said about this level of gambling is just kind of taking away people's genuine joy of the sport.
And I want to even say, and this might be pushing it a little far, but I want to even say it's taking away from the loyalty in fans too. Because
Yes.
when you're a fan of a sports team and you're betting money on a rival team or something, say I just bet money on Aaron Judge, you're rooting for Aaron Judge to have success, and that takes away from your fandom.
Mm-hmm.
Or in NBA terms too, NBA podcasts, if I'm rooting for Jalen Brunson, if we matched up on them on Friday and I'm like, all right, I'm smashing the over on Jalen Brunson,
Yeah.
it's destroying your fandom at the end of the day. And that's destroying your loyalty because you're going to be like, all right, I don't want to lose my money. Let's go Brunson. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, but do you think it could increase as well? Say I were to bet on the Celtics, and I don't bet. That's what it is. We do friendly
Yeah.
bets here. We do the friendly bets, the
For sure.
and giveaway bets. But say I were to bet on, Jalen Brown, do you think that could make you more of a more intense fan
More
then?
like engaged into the game.
Yeah. Would you say
Mm,
what if
No,
like your standards though? Like
I
what if
I definitely agree with that though. Like, I think it is fun to bet. I'm not saying that it's wrong to bet on a game. I'm just saying, like,
totally
it's almost becoming where the the betting is just so thrown in your face, like,
base that it's like you have to bet. It makes it like seem like you should like it makes it
yeah,
you
in
don't
that way, or just like it's taking, I don't know, like, I feel like betting used to be more of like a betting feels more like, oh, I'm betting, like there was a little more excitement behind it, like, cuz
yeah.
you're not doing it every day, like maybe you're going to a casino to gamble on a game, and you have a little more, like, there's a little more energy that goes into it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna go bet on this game. I'm gonna make a whole event out of it. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna enjoy it. We're gonna really experience this gambling. But now, when you gamble, you're just. I mean, people are throwing games down on soccer games that they're never watching.
Exact I have to
Or
say
they're
this.
throwing games down on NBA teams and they're not watching those games, you know? Like that's not fun to me because, like, unless you're really going to gamble on a game, sit there, soak it in, stress out, worry while you're watching the game, like parlays and all that in some ways are not as fun for me
Yeah.
because you're just not like the essence of gambling is that feeling you get, but when you're not actually watching the game and experiencing like the risk, it doesn't feel as engaging. But I do think, like, when you gamble on a game just to gamble and you're really really watching it, like, it does kind of makes you feel a little more a part of it. It makes you feel
Does
like every shot matters just a little more. And maybe I'm not trying to promote
encourage people
gambling,
to gamble. No, because
but I do think gambling is fun, and any gambling, if there's any, if there's any gambling out there, maybe
sponsor.
DraftKings or bet. I
Well,
think it is still good. Like, I think it is
we'll
still
take a
good. So
sponsor. Yeah, we'll take a
yeah,
sponsor out there.
yeah.
We're
I just think sometimes it can be,
it could be carried away,
yeah, it can be carried away.
and it could be carried away in the sense of like NBA too. That's where I'm thinking. Like when players are betting, it's like you're gonna get in big trouble for one, because you're the one who's throwing it. Number
Hmm.
two,
Hmm.
another big thing about it is like, don't you like what you said? And I want to highlight one thing you said. Don't you want to win? Like it's
Yeah, like
taking away
where,
pure value of the game. Like for example, the Trailblazers head coach, you're a coach. Your standard is to win. Your standard
Mhm.
isn't to, hey, bet I'm going to get money. No, your standard is to win. And especially from a coach. If you're a player, all right, if you're a player who doesn't get a lot of time in the NBA, maybe you went undrafted, you're not a big name, it's, and I still don't see why you should do that, because that's crazy. You should want to win. You should want to be a team player. But especially if you're a coach and you want to have a career in the NBA and you want to make your name known, why are you betting? Why? I just, what are your thoughts on that? I think like Terry Rozier, whatever, he might have a gambling addiction, still shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing too, but I
But
don't know.
like,
I don't know. I think Billups like, I mean, he's got ties like it's like known like there's mafia relations. Like it's deeper than what we even know. To be
yeah,
honest, like than what we can even imagine. But I don't know.
it's tough. It's a
It's
hard
tough, man.
conversation.
Like I think that it's just it takes a special someone to be able to commit that fraud behind the backs of the NBA, behind the backs of fans, behind I mean everyone and do all that, and really try to gamble. Like that takes a lot, and I just we you can't condone it. Like it's just not right, and it no matter how much money you're making, like the NBA treated Billups well. I mean, he had a great career in the NBA. I mean, he had success, he had championships, he had the money. I mean, he got paid. Nothing like contracts now. I'll tell you that much. But I'm sure he had his fair share of money that he was able to utilize. And I don't know, to get wrapped up in all that, it's like it
It's
almost is frustrating to an extent where now Billups' career is it tarnished? Like, is his reputation tarnished? Like do we forever when we hear Billups' name, like that's the thing we think about now. It's not his championships. It's not his winning mentality. It's not playing on the Pistons. It's not for a short stint playing with the Celtics. That's not what we think about him anymore. Like it sucks, but that recency bias is real. And so now all we're thinking about is Chauncey Billups and how he gambled and is part of this big scheme. And so it almost takes away from what he did. And maybe he's not as connected to that. Maybe he's not as passionate about that, but his reputation now is slightly tainted, whether he likes it or not. And I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame. Let me check.
and I have to say, even like, and while you're saying that, even from a Terry Rozier perspective, I was very high on Terry Rozier. And I really liked the game that he played, and I loved it when he played basketball in
Yeah.
Boston.
So
But
Billups, yeah. Wait, you go. My bad. Sorry to interrupt. My bad.
no, you go, because you have the information.
Yeah, Billups is not in the Hall of Fame yet.
So he could have been. That's the thing.
So he could have been because he is that good. And secondly, he probably won't now because to me, the Hall of Fame, one, it's are you that guy? Like, are you talented enough? Do you have the resume? Do you have the trophies? Do you have the skill to make the Hall of Fame? But another thing is, did you care about the NBA? Did you care about the game of basketball? Did you treat it with respect? Did you show your love in every instance? And now Billups cheating with this gambling scheme shows with his actions that money comes over the game of basketball to him. And that's a scary thought, and it's frustrating to think about, and it most definitely taints his legacy and most definitely leaves fans in the Hall of Fame questioning whether he should be admitted into the Hall of Fame. And that stinks for him. I mean, that's horrible. And so to risk that in my eyes is something that I wouldn't do. And I'm not in his shoes, so I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know the extent of this gambling addiction. Maybe he has an addiction in gambling. Maybe, like that's a real thing. And so we don't know really exactly his mindset behind it. But from my perspective, you just slightly ruined your legacy.
You
And
did.
that's something that I don't know I could sleep with or wrestle with. But it's something that you'd have to live with, right? So I mean, it's tough. It's tough, man. And I don't
And
know. I used to play 2K with Chauncey Billups, and you think about him, and like I don't know. I just felt like he was a good basketball player, and he still is. But no matter how hard you try, you're always gonna have Chauncey Billups' name. It's like the Astros. There's always gonna be slightly an asterisk there now.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'll speak on the Terry Rozier side. That's like a point of view where I was saying too, where it's like kids want to grow up and be like athletes, and like they look at Terry Rozier, and I'm a person who looked at Terry Rozier, and I was a fan of him on the Celtics, and it's like everything that he had now, it's like you're probably never going to be in the NBA again, probably not going to have a chance to go for a championship. It's like it could all be taken just like that, and it's like it's a tough conversation. But do you have anything else? What were you saying though?
No, it's even crazy to think about. They love people love gambling so much that they'll gamble with their own
Career.
livelihood. Their own
Yeah.
livelihood. I mean, in some sense, he gambled with his basketball career. He put that on the line. And that's scary. And to see that gambling can do that to people, that's also something to consider. And so when you connect gambling with sports, there's this passion, there's this emotion that is really tied to it. And it almost feels like there's this even more elated feeling that you get when you win a sports gambling, like a sports roulette. Like it's like roulette, it's a little more just chance. Like you're not like, man, I love the roulette table, man. I love seeing that ball swing around. I mean, some people may say that, but what I'm trying to say though is like there's even more emotion tied to it because people love this game so much. People love the sport so much that when you win, there's this feeling that I don't know. You know where I'm trying to get at, like that.
Well, and I think
and I'm speaking on hypotheticals, theoreticals, right? Like, I don't gamble that much. I have friends that gamble. Like, it'd be nice to get someone else's perspective that actually does does gamble to talk on this, and maybe we can even get someone on.
Yeah, so if you like gambling and you want, because our perspective, my perspective is this: I do these friendly bets here, but I don't gamble. So it's like, and we're open to a DraftKings sponsor or underdog. Like we're totally available for that. So if you guys want to sponsor us, we're totally available. So yeah, but if you want to come talk about this and have a little debate, that's what we're here for, Andrew. We're here to have fun, and we're here to chat conspiracies,
definitely
all and everything. But I want to say this, and this is a question I have now off of the gambling topic. Andrew, a question I have for you is, what is the likelihood of Ugo playing in Maine, considering the minutes he got last night?
I think it's slim. Not as I don't think it's as like I don't think we can base it off of this one game because Hugo maybe didn't get up the opportunity, but he's going to at some point, in my opinion, get the opportunity to play on this team. Like maybe even next game. Like I think he's going to get in the rotation potentially next game. And so once he gets those minutes, I think, in my opinion, he's going to capitalize on those minutes. And so it's going to make it a lot harder to send him down to Maine because I think he has that ability to make such a huge impact right now that once he steps foot on the court, like Joe's going to fall in love with him. Joe's going to say, man, you're bringing defensive intensity, something that we didn't have last game. And Justin passionately talked about that on Celtics Talk Weekly. Like our defense was horrendous. And you talked about it too. Like you need Hugo. It was you. My apologies. It was you that said that. Like we need Hugo Gonzalez to be that defensive anchor, another guy that can really, really defend the ball and contain someone like a VJ Edgecombe, like a Maxi. And so I don't know if you can afford to have Hugo Gonzalez down in Maine.
And the reason I even wanted to ask that too is because we're 22 days away from opening night at the Expo, which Andrew and I are extremely excited to be covering that this year for you guys. So
For
stay tuned.
sure, yeah. I mean, that's
But
exciting. We got some good news coming up soon, like in relation to all of that. So stay tuned on that. But we want to give you guys some coverage of the main Celtics because the Portland Expo, man, it's
That's
like you bring the Garden from Boston up north.
it
It's like a
is.
shrunk down version of the Garden, but you still get that Garden energy, that Garden feel, that Garden music. You still get the DJ, you still get the PA announcer. Like there is a essence of the Garden that is brought up to Maine, and so we want to share that with you. So that's going to be that's a little sneak peek to get you guys a little fired up.
And you got me fired up, Andrew. But that's why I hope Hugo is down there at least for a little bit.
Yeah, and I
Because
do too.
I
And I think
wanna
he
talk
might.
to
I
him.
think he still will. I do think he still will.
Yeah, and I think this. I feel like there's some part of his game where he's 19 years old that he still needs to tune up. And
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna be down there as long as Baylor Shireman even was last year, because I think it's safe to say that Baylor Shireman has a spot with the Boston Celtics now temporarily, like for the long run. I don't, but I've seen some issues in Shireman's game as well that maybe need to be toned up. So he might even go down and develop. But I look at Hugo Gonzalez, and that's a guy that I think is doing wonderful things, and I've been very impressed in preseason. But those are also against guys who, I think it was either Seamus or Justin who said it last night. In preseason, you're playing against a lot of G League guys. So I almost want to wonder if what happens if Hugo Gonzalez goes out there and plays against real NBA competition and just cannot match with that. Maybe that could be the case, but from the craft that we saw all preseason is Hugo is a name to watch out for. Like, this guy has a name on the Celtics roster, because I don't think we've even seen a bad thing from him yet, though.
Yeah, like I just don't know if he's G League worthy. Like I don't know if he, like I think you send him down to the G League and he's just gonna dominate. And I think that him being a 3-year pro over in Europe, having that athleticism, that ability to really defend, like you can really you can put him in the game and he's gonna make a positive impact. Like a Shireman for me is harder because you need him to be producing on the offensive end to have him to have a real impact. But a Hugo Gonzalez, you can have him on the floor. Maybe he's not producing offensively as well, but he can be on defense and bring energy, bring intensity that can kind of pick the Celtics up. And so it's almost like to have Hugo in the G League, I want at least Hugo to get in the game every time, because that's a chance for a spark. That's a chance for an energy shift. Shout out JB, an energy shift that could change the entire trajectory of a game. So to have Hugo on your team is a weapon that you can use whenever and just try to kind of change the tide. I don't know if that makes sense. It does make sense. I mean that's kind of how I see it. He's too valuable of a piece to sit in the G League.
I agree. And I want to say this point of view. I see him having more of a career roadmap that Rob Dillingham had last year. I think, and I don't remember, and correct me if I'm wrong with this, someone correct me in the comments, but I believe at first he was in the NBA and then went down with an injury, got a couple games there, and they saw how valuable he was, and then got sent up. I feel like the same thing could go with Hugo Gonzalez. I feel like, maybe when the main Celtics season starts, that's a guy they call down. And then you see, all right, he's too valuable defensively, and the Celtics are desperately in name for a defensive piece. He get the call up just like that. And I think that's realistically what it is with every first round pick. However, Baylor Shireman had a longer blossom last year and really wasn't like, all right, this is a guy that we need to call up, because the Celtics last year was in a complete different circumstance. They had a team that was competing for a championship. Now you're in a team where you could look on a night and be like, hey, we just need help tonight defensively, and
Mhm.
we need you to come up. So I look at this. I don't doubt that he'll get a little bit of time in Maine, because I think he's still young and there's still going to be parts of his game that he needs to develop. However, I don't think this is going to be a name that you're going to see in Maine all season. I think this is a guy who you're most likely going to see him in Boston for a majority of the season. But
Mhm.
do you have any other thoughts on that?
No, I think we covered it. I mean, I think that yeah, they might maybe they even bring him down like G League opening night, because you want to give the fans a show, like, and maybe you don't need him that game, or maybe there's I think that there's definitely a possibility that he'll play for the main Celtics. But from what I saw in preseason, I don't think he's a G Leaguer. I think he's a player that you can really utilize off your bench and can find ways to insert him into the offense. And so because even like a guy like Minot, like yes, Minot played well last game, but I mean, was he like particularly like efficient? Like what like there's a chance, I mean, there's a chance that some of these guys may hit ruts or they may not be playing their best basketball at certain times. And to have a guy like Hugo they can plug in, like that'd be helpful.
Oh, you said it right there. And I do have to say, in addition to that, like, the Maine Celtics are also dealing with the fact that their number one guy, JD Davison, is gone. Now, that's not going to affect them at all, because the Maine Celtics are super
Mm-hmm.
popular in Maine. And if you're not from Maine and you're in the Boston area, I recommend you go to a Maine Celtics game. Like
We'll
Andrew,
be there.
we'll be there. We'll be there. But I wanted to talk about some waived players really quick. And I don't know if they will be on the roster. I feel like these are guys that someone might be able to pick up. Like, I think if you're waived, someone could pick you up. And at the same time, in addition to that, maybe they decide to go overseas or something. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. But I believe I saw Hasten Ward, who played last year, was waived by the Celtics. So he should be on the G League roster. Keep an
Mm-hmm.
eye out for Hasten Ward. Wendell Moore Jr., who was recently waived from the Boston Celtics. He might be on the roster. So, Andrew, that would be such a fun interview to have with Wendell
Mm-hmm.
Moore Jr., if that's the case. RJ Lewis, I don't know if he will be, but he was also waived from the Boston Celtics. So, again, it might be a name to keep your eye peeled for. Kendall Brown, I think that's very likely that we will see him in Maine. So that might be another guy to look out for. Hayden Gray, who was waived before training camp. And I think that's a guy that you're definitely going to see on the main Celtics
Mm-hmm.
roster. Unsure about that, but I believe so. And Jalen Bridges. So those are the waived players.
Uh, no, I mean Wendell Moore is a guy that I think is a talent. I think he's just a guy that like you can't keep, I guess necessarily. Like it's just the
Yeah.
roster's deep enough where like you can't keep him, but I think he could find a way to kind of pave his way into the league. So he'll be a fun player to watch out for, and he's one of those guys that maybe takes a little more time to develop or takes a little more time to insert himself in the league, but he's someone that has potential, has a ceiling that is NBA worthy in my opinion.
Oh, and I don't know how long he will be with the main Celtics, if he even is with the main Celtics, from how high his ceiling is. And I believe another name too that I might have forgotten is Jordan Shackle. Unsure about that one, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's one. But two-way players. These are players that Andrew and I will be covering in the main Celtics. Max Shulga, Amari Williams, and Ron Harper Jr. Super excited to see them. And I feel like us talking about the main Celtics and their roster, until we have more news about what the roster even looks like and who we could
Mhm.
expect to see. Just talking about these players, I mean, I'm not going to get into it with Ron Harper Jr. because I've talked about him a lot, but even Max Shulga and Amari Williams and Ron Harper Jr. as a whole, I'm excited to see these players compete in the Celtics uniform. But what are your final thoughts about this? And
I think I'm most excited for Amari Williams. Like, I think he's really, really good. I think he's a smart player. I think he looked a little timid, you could say, on the NBA court in preseason. Like, he just didn't look like he was very confident, per se, in his games. But I think that you put him in a G League setting, he's going to thrive. He's going to flourish. He's only going to get more comfortable in the NBA and in this new experience for him. I mean, this is different. This is not something that he's ever experienced before. And for a skilled big man like him, I see no reason for him to not really grow and develop. So he's going to be a fun player to watch in Maine. And I think he's going to really, really, really perform well. And he is one of those guys you should be looking out for to really have a good year, no matter where he plays.
Yeah, you said it right there, Andrew. And with that being said, the Boston Celtics lost last night to the Philadelphia 76ers. However, we're bringing back a thing that we did last season, which is our predictions. Because this is a weekly podcast, so I believe the talk is that we're going to be here on Thursdays, but maybe a Wednesday here and there, but Thursdays is the day that we should be recording this year. So make sure to tune in on Thursdays and check us out here at Celtics Nation Rise. So we're going to give you our predictions for the upcoming week and then tune back in to see if we were right or if we were wrong, and then we'll give you the next predictions. But Boston Celtics tomorrow night at 7:30 play the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Oh, yep. At Madison Square Garden. I was making sure I was right on that one. And then, hold on, folks. I just lost that one. Here, let me bring that back. Let me bring it back. Bring it
on back. Come on now.
Yeah, it will any day now. All right, here, let's go a different route. Andrew, do you have it pulled up? If not, we play
the schedule.
Yes, let me bring it up. All right.
I don't have it pulled up, but I can pull it up.
I got you guys.
You got it? All right.
And then Sunday, the Boston Celtics take on the Detroit Pistons. And then we have Monday, a back-to-back night. They play the Pelicans. And then we have Wednesday, the 29th, the Celtics face the Cavs. So kind of, I'm looking at a little rough of the schedule. You have the Cavs, you have the Knicks, you have the Pistons, who I think are three hard teams. And I think the Pelicans, I feel like they'll be a solid team to face. But Andrew, what are your predictions? What do you think we will be next time we come back? Now, our record right now is we're 0-1 right now. But what do you think our record will be by the time we meet back? 4 games. What are your thoughts?
Man, so I was sitting here thinking about it. Like, I think we could drop one. I think we could drop one to the Knicks. I think that they're starting. They're already really playing well together, and I mean it's an away game, right? So it in Madison Square Garden, where we did just lose to them. Like, I don't know. I just think there could be this. I just think Knicks right now are more of a talented, cohesive squad. Like, they're not more talented, but more cohesive. Like, they already have an identity to them. And so I think the Celtics could fall there. So I'm going to say the Celtics, as much as it hurts me to say, fall to the Knicks. Detroit, I think we go get them. I think we had these 2 games where we're kind of frustrated, where we're kind of like, man, what's going on? Like, what's our identity? What are we going to do? But you go to Detroit and you say, man, we got to find a way to win this game. Like, yeah, so I think Detroit we get. And then I think Pelicans could be like a game where we kind of – it's a close game where it's kind of – you just don't know, because I think Zion is – when you have Zion on the floor, like, you're always in games. So I think Pelicans keep it close, but I think Celtics win that. And then Cleveland, Garland's not there. I don't know if I'm as high as I don't know if I'm as high on Cleveland as everyone is, and so I think we get that. I think we go 3-1. I think we go
Okay, Andrew.
3-1.
I like it. So you think by the time we're on here, we're going to be 3-2 next time we meet?
3-2, yeah.
I like that. I like that. Andrew, I'm going to have to be the bearer of bad news.
That's fine, dude. Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it.
I think we're going to be 2-2. And I hate to say this, and I hate to be so negative, but even maybe 1-3. I believe, the Knicks. I think that's going to be a tough one, and I don't know why I'm feeling so confident in saying we win it right now. Maybe that's just me. No, I gotta stop. I showed last year in the playoffs that I need to stop hating on the Knicks. I'm gonna say we lose to the Knicks. All right. I can't. I was
You
right
can't be
about
rocking any more Yankees hats, man.
No, I can't. So we'll go a loss to the Knicks. I feel like Detroit is one that we might lose to, but I'm gonna take the win with that one. I believe that we're gonna bounce back and win that. And then I do believe we will beat the Pelicans. I feel like that'll be close, but I think we beat them. And then I do unfortunately think we lose to Cleveland. I just don't know what's going to happen there. And I think Donovan Mitchell, if we can't stop Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, how are we going to stop a guy like Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah.
And so that's where my head is kind of spinning. So I think 2-2. I think we're going to have a losing record when we're coming back here. And you think we're going to have a winning record. So
yeah. But I mean, I'm not gonna let you persuade me, but I will say Cleveland's gonna be tough with Mobley.
exactly.
Like, who's guarding Mobley? Who's guarding Mobley?
Kada?
Like Hayden, the way Mobley, if you watch the game and if you watched like highlights, the way Mobley was moving, he was moving like a guard. Like,
he's a beast.
the way Mobley has developed his game is pretty incredible, and for him to be able to handle the ball well, create open shots for himself, like that's something that he hasn't necessarily had in his arsenal, or wasn't as fine-tuned in that area. But for me, like, just his movement, his ability to just get to open spots, like, he's a guy that's going to be tough to guard. And I don't know if we have a guy to guard him, to be honest.
I think that's going to be the issue, because if we can't stop VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey, how are we going to stop Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell?
And that even goes further, and you don't want to look there, but even for like you face Victor Wembanyama, like, who is guarding Wembanyama? Like, Kata's not guarding Wembanyama. He can maybe, it's just not happening. So that is something that, like, is a little concerning about this Celtics team. I'm not gonna lie.
It is. And that's why I think confidently the only win I could say on paper, and that's still a challenging one, depending on who they have on the floor. But I think the only confident win I could say is the Pelicans, because I will say the Pistons give me a little scared, and the Knicks, I think, I'm almost going to go as far as to say this is I believe the one strongly that I think we're going to lose is the Cavs. I really could see us defeating the Knicks and the Pelicans. So I want to say those two, but I'm going to go we lose in New York. No, my guts tell me we're winning in New York. I don't know why. So this is my final prediction. We win in New York. We win against the Pelicans, and we lose to Detroit and the Cavs. That's my final prediction.
Yeah. And as a disclaimer, my prediction of the Knicks, if it doesn't come true, man, hallelujah. I'm excited.
So someone has to root against them. And you know what?
Right.
I will go post that video right after too. I will go.
I think, it's a respectful thing to do.
I will. Right after I'm betting against the Knicks again too. So I got to go post that video after.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, that's our predictions. And thank you guys so much again for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications to be notified every time we upload. Again, we are going to keep you guys informed all season long. So make sure you keep those post notifications on, because we'll be uploading at hectic times if there's breaking news, but also make sure to come here weekly for our weekly podcast, and make sure to check out the recaps and go check out Celtics Talk Weekly too for more Celtics content. So again, you guys, thank you so much for watching. We will see you guys with the next one. Peace, guys.
Peace, guys.